The comments and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not reflect those of their employers, friends, families, or casual acquaintances.
The following program is brought to you in living color on A2B. Hello and welcome to SwimTalk on A2B Radio. Come join us as we dive into the exciting world of competitive swimming with coach and athlete interviews, conversations with interesting and significant people in our sport, and commentary that is better than good. It's adequate. We'll get underway right after this. From the beautiful lakes and hills surrounding Bentonville, Arkansas, the mountain biking capital of the world, and the world headquarters of Walmart, we're going to explore the world of open water swimming with former high school and collegiate swimmer Bonnie Adams, a swimming teacher for all ages and abilities for over 30 years, and the organizer and founder of SwimOz. We're meeting this morning with Bonnie Adams from the wild woods of Arkansas, and Bob is going to introduce her and chat with her to get us started.
We're talking open water swimming guru, Bonnie Adams, today. Bonnie came up through the age group ranks in Bentonville, Arkansas, and helped Bentonville High School to their first state championship. After setting a state record in the 100 backstroke, she stayed in state and swam for the Razorbacks in Fayetteville. Welcome to our show, Bonnie.
Thank you very much.
Hey, we're going to talk open water with you today, but first we'd like to hear a little bit more about your overall swimming career. Things like how you got it started, who made a big difference along the way, and how it's remained such a big part of your life.
Absolutely. My dad was a swimmer. He actually swam at the University of Oklahoma on a scholarship back in the day when they still had swimming teams there.
Who's dad? Tell us. I'm sure there's people out there that would remember him. We got people in Texas that swam up in Arkansas or in Oklahoma.
Yeah, Will Brandecker. So
okay.
I credit my father to a lot of what I do with swimming. He's been a huge asset to me, encouragement wise, as well as knowledge and efficiency and all those fun things that go into being a lifelong swimmer. He swam at the University of Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner. Sorry, Texas guys.
That's all right.
But we moved to Arkansas when I was just 8. And it was the beginning of the summer and enrolled me in the Red Cross lessons, which I promptly did not pass.
Oh,
yeah, I'm one of those. And when somebody says, sorry, you didn't do that well, guess what? I'm going to rise again and do much, much better the second go around. So I said, well, how do I get better? How do I do this properly kind of thing? And it was the breaststroke that scratched me, if you will, and took a couple more rounds of swim lessons at the Walton Life Fitness Center. And then went on to join the swim team, and the rest is a little bit of history. So that's kind of how I got started swimming. So,
well, it can't have hurt you too much because you became a pretty good IMer, aren't you?
I am as one of my favorites. I haven't done it recently because I'm OLD. But it's definitely one of my favorites. 200 IM short courses is one of my favorite things to swim. So hopefully I'll be doing a little more training and get that under my belt again at a meet here soon enough. But yeah, and then started swimming in high school, and then it was summertime jobs. And what do swimmers do? We either are lifeguards or we teach swimming lessons. And I did 1 year of lifeguarding, and it was not my favorite. I do enjoy people watching, but sitting in a chair for 30 minutes at a time is not my favorite. I like to stay busy and keep moving. And so started doing swim lessons And then the next summer started private lessons in my parents' backyard pool. And I have been doing private lessons since the age of 15. So for 3 decades now, I've been doing private lessons and absolutely love it. And everybody asks, well, which type of clients do you work with, or which is your favorite, or which do you do better? And truthfully, it's every single one of them. It's 5 months old to my 70-year-old that is just learning how to swim properly because he lives on the lake and wants to be able to swim across his cove safely. And I love each and every one of them. To my guy that's out at nationals right now, just got third in the 50 fly. So
cool.
Yeah, I love them all.
That's awesome. I checked out your website at The Joys of Swimming. Noticed that you used Norbert Oz Stroke Max anti paddles. We just had a quick visit with Norby. It's a small world, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little more about the Joys of Swimming program, your lessons, and obviously a competitive program if you got someone at Masters and Nationals.
Yes. So I started the Joys of Swimming in North Carolina, actually. Husband works for Walmart. That's what's brought us out to Bentonville. And that's where I grew up too. So it's kind of fun to come full circle in a swimming world as well. We got started out there just because I'm a mother of 3 girls and I needed a little bit of flexibility in my schedule and knew that obviously swimming is an important part and it's a life-saving skill, and wanted to be able to share that with really as many folks as I can. And when we were in North Carolina, it was just myself. I was the only instructor and ran my own schedule and that sort of thing. And then we moved to Northwest Arkansas in 2015. And in 2017, got my hands on a nice little pool, 12 and a half yards by 11 yards. And we started the Joys of Swimming up here and grew it quite quickly and survived through COVID, which was amazing and wonderful. We had a team of 20 instructors and about 300 clients. And we still have a little bit of that base, but unfortunately, the building owner decided he did not want to be a pool owner anymore. And so we've since left that facility, but there's still a few of us that travel around. I primarily am the main instructor and work out of the Walton Life Fitness Center in my backyard. Good. And then I've got a couple other instructors that travel around to clients' backyards. So we're kind of a boutique swim school, if you will. But I've created our own curriculum, really gearing the kids up for what's next if they choose it. So, learning proper streamline, learning how to side breathe, how to bilateral breathe on their freestyle, proper breaststroke, all of those things that really sets them up for success if they choose to be competitive or just lifelong swimmers.
Yeah, lesson program for lifelong, or if they want to ease into and go into competitive. Great. Now to open water. You got a big event coming up on Beaver Lake. Tell us about it.
Yes. So I'll backtrack just a smidge into the Swim Oz part and kind of how that got started, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's what we want to hear about.
Yeah. So part of my private lessons, I began to get a pretty significant clientele of triathletes. And the majority of triathlons take place in open water swim, whether it be lakes, rivers, or oceans, and wanted to have them be able to go out and practice in a safe environment. They shouldn't swim alone out in the lake. And realized pretty quickly that there wasn't a group doing that here in Northwest Arkansas. And we have lakes all over the place. Bella Vista has, I think it's 5 or 6 different lakes. Of course, Beaver Lake is a huge reservoir and a beautiful, stunning place to go play as well as to go swim. And thought, well, let's put something together. It was going to be 2 months. It was Wetsuit Wednesdays was what we called it in the beginning. And we were planning this in 2019. And of course, we all know what happened in 2020. And most of the pools were still not open come May. So we decided to keep it going through the summer and lasted through the end of September. So we did a full 6 months of every Wednesday night out at Beaver Lake. And after that time, it was kind of, okay, what's next? How do I keep this group that is clearly interested in this and enjoying it? Because at that point, our pools had started to open back up, but we still had swimmers. And one thing that I am just in awe over and gives me goosebumps, quite honestly, is that this is now our third summer that we've been doing this. Every single Wednesday, we have somebody new. And that just blows my mind.
Is it word of mouth, or do they bring a
word
buddy?
of mouth? People training and, running into fellow triathletes and whatnot, and having conversations of, okay, well, the swim part's the hardest part, because that's, most of your triathletes are not swimmers. And so it's really been quite amazing. And then we've done some things to help spread the word. We've reached out to some area pools as well as teams and let them know, hey, we're doing this. Would love for your swimmers to come and attend, so they can do so with a group that really starts to kind of ease the anxiety that some triathletes have about open water, as well as swimmers for that matter. It's a really good mix of competitive swimmers that just want to keep moving and are looking for something different. Competitive triathletes. We've got, I think, 3 or 4 triathletes that are at USAT Nationals this weekend, and folks that are doing half and full Ironmans, some of them just beginning, some just learning how to swim. It's really quite an incredible mix. And after we got started with that first summer, it was, okay, how do we keep doing this? And, there's a difference in kids learning to swim and then seeing adults at a lake, as far as a social media presence is concerned. And I knew that I really needed to do something different. It couldn't just be the joys of swimming. And if you do any cycling, or more specifically mountain biking, that the Oz Trails, which is here in Northwest Arkansas, is we're self-proclaimed, but the mountain biking capital of the world. And it is a beautiful, beautiful place, and the land of Oz. And what Oz Trails has done and the Oz brand has done is really quite incredible. We have Oz Art, we have Fly Oz. They do a lot of backwoods landings and that sort of thing. And it just made really good sense for there to be a Swim Oz as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and your location in that part of the state. I looked at maps, and you're really not that far away from people that want to drive in from some of the bigger areas in the Midwest there. It's not that far of a drive for them to get to you and do some of these events.
Exactly. Yeah. We're 3 hours from Kansas City. We're 3 hours from Oklahoma City. We're 4+ from Dallas. We're 3 from Little Rock, 5 from Memphis,
right.
5 from St. Louis.
Right.
Yep, exactly. I think just shy of 10 hours from Houston. So yeah. And it's great to have all these training things, but then what do you do with your training, right? We want to compete, some of us anyway.
Sure.
And it was a moment of, okay, well, this is clearly something that people are interested in. What about doing a competition? So last year decided to do what we called the Dam Mile. It's out at Beaver Lake Dam. And I had some damn fun with those damn puns.
Do you have a darn one for the kids?
Well, we didn't last year, but we do have one for the kids. But yeah, so I mentioned that we had to close our pool last year with the joys of swimming, and that took place. Actually, it was almost to the day last year, and so had a limited amount of time left in the season, and decided to go ahead and really put my brain power and energy into doing my first open water competition.
Well, did you tap into any folks that had done them in the area, or maybe far away, and borrow some ideas? Because that's got to be tough. I would love to host something like that if I could, but I wouldn't know where to start. I've swum them many times, but
yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have some really great partners in crime, if you will. One gentleman, actually two gentlemen, one in particular, Jason Wilford, he coaches the local triathlon team, Team 180 Multisport, and they're actually based out of South Africa, and he is from South Africa. And along with another gentleman, Mike Spivey, who is the CEO of Ozark Outdoor Foundation, and told them what I wanted to do and that I wanted to throw together an open water swim in less than 60 days. And here's my vision. And my vision was for it to be a festival environment and for the swimmers to not only have a great time before, after, and during, but I wanted their families and their friends and all the spectators to have a great time as well. And I wanted the swim to be visible to them, the entire swim to be visible to them. And they both were like, well, you're kind of describing a really big race that happens in South Africa. I'm like, oh, really? What's that? Midmar Mile. And Midmar Mile is the world's largest open water race. They have over 15,000 competitors that descend on this small town, and they run it for a couple of days. They do it in different waves. And swimmers can choose to do multiple waves based on the different criteria for the waves. And that's kind of how the setup is for this year in regards to the waves.
So your event, if a kid wants to do the age group and the high school and the open or whatever division, they can do all three?
That's exactly right.
Oh,
and if they're
wow.
fast enough, they can do the elite as well and do 4.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, okay, Bonnie, I got to throw this in for a family that just moved up to Arkansas from Bay City, Texas here. Andy and Susan Spencer, if you're listening, and they do listen to these. We got 4 or 5 listeners, and I think they're 2 of them. The Oz swim, the Oz Mile swim would be a great opportunity for the boys. I don't think it's that far from Bug Tussle to Eureka Springs.
So, I love it.
Yeah,
Bring them on.
Yes, go Spencers, go Toro, Keegan. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to throw that in. Don't edit that out, Dana. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I feel like I'm rambling. So bring me in anytime.
It's me that's rambling.
Well, I've got a question about the Oz Mile. How many participants are you expecting this year, and how has it grown over the years?
Yeah, last year we started. We ended up with 60 swimmers, which kind of blew my mind considering we put it together in about 6 weeks. This year, right now, our registration is sitting at 108. And we're looking to see over 300 competitors.
Fantastic.
Wow.
What is the shape of the course?
It's a triangle. That's a great question. So it's a triangle. Where we start and finish is on a little peninsula.
Oh, I know where that is. I found it on the map. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So they'll start out, and this year we're changing the direction from how we did it last year. So they'll start out going northwest and then make a hard left and go due south. And then they'll make another left and finish up going northeast. So
lots of volunteers needed for something like this.
Yes, please. I need all the volunteers.
Kayakers or people out.
That's right. That's one of our
buoys,
biggest concerns. Yeah, that's one of our biggest concerns is making sure that we have not only met the safety criteria. This is a USMS sanctioned open water race.
Oh, cool.
And we're working hard to make it a USA swimming sanctioned race. That requires a little more finagling and a little more time and a little more.
Right.
We're working towards that. And it requires, I think they ask for, I think it's 10 or 12 kayakers. We're going to have 30 kayakers on the water.
Awesome.
So yeah. And not to mention our speedboats and that sort of thing. We're working closely with a local marina, Starkey's Marina. I'll give a shout out to them. They're going to help us provide a handful of boats and looking to have some really cool spectator viewing available via those boats.
Get some pontoon boats out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's neat.
I asked you about the shape of the course. So is that just one circuit is going to be 1 mile?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And And the other thing I wanted to ask you was, I did a little research on the Midmar Mile, and that's huge. The thing about that, which makes it a lot easier for spectators, is that it's this triangle course that they've got goes real close to the shore in a straight line, so the spectators can line up on I
The
think
whole
all
course.
three sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where can spectators best watch your swimming since it's out in the middle of the lake? I see several peninsulas out there: Lester Island, the park campground,
Yeah, the
the
park
dive park.
campground, we go pretty close to the park campground. And then there's the way it's set up. There's a whole two sides of the beach area that they'll be able to see. Now, of course, the spectators are going to get smaller and smaller, and everybody's wearing the same cap. So it's a really tricky to identify your own swimmer. I highly encourage them to sign up to volunteer and kayak, and you'll have the best viewing.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Hey, I was looking at some open water swimming opportunities in some other places. I'm thinking that might be a fun thing to do with my high school team this year, a little different event. But a lot of the places are requiring the use of, I think I'm calling this correctly, a safe buoy. It's something with a belt that you wear over your shoulder, around your waist, and you tow a little inflatable thing behind you that you can also
Right.
stuff your dry clothes in some cases. Is that required for your event?
It is not required. Actually, the USMS part of it makes it to where we won't use those. However, the last wave, we've kind of touched on the waves a little bit. We have a youth wave, which is for our 13 to 18-year-old USA swimmers, basically, or high school swimmers. And we've got a team championship trophy on the line for that. Hint, hint. And then we have our elite wave, and we have some really special folks that are coming for that. We've got Catherine Breed and Chad Latterat out of San Francisco that are coming in. And, Chad was a national record holder for, I think, a year or two for the mile. So I'm really excited to see some fast swimming
That'll
out of
be
that.
cool. Yeah. And the water temps will be maybe a little warmer than he's used to.
Exactly. They'll be about 79 come race day.
That's cool.
And then we've got our age group wave, which is 13 and over. And that's where your age group title is on the line. And roughly it's every 5 years is how we're breaking down our age groups. And then we have the Oz wave. And the Oz wave is geared towards folks that are maybe a little intimidated about open water swimming, maybe thinking, I'd really like a bucket list item to be going out and swimming a mile. Or they have maybe a 10-year-old, or we're going as young as 8 this year. For our 8 to 12-year-olds, we are requiring a buoy. And that's just to really make sure that everybody is as safe as possible. And we're also asking that they have an adult, somebody 16 and over with them during their swim. But anything goes for the Oz wave. So if you want to wear a wetsuit, you can wear a wetsuit. If you want to wear fins and do it, you can wear fins and do it. It's supposed to be a ton of fun and meant to drive that, I don't know, to push them over the edge.
Right. Okay. That's the anything goes. That's fun. The anything goes wave. That's
Exactly.
Cool. That's all right. Oh my. Hey,
are you in, Bob?
I would be if it fit my schedule. And that was my next question.
Well, maybe next year.
Well, if it doesn't fit an individual, or I like the team aspect too, or a team schedule, do y'all have other open water events in the area? And if you did, is there a website or a calendar of events or contact info for anything up there?
Yeah. So actually this last weekend, we just did our TriFest for MS Open Water Challenge. And that's part of a whole series of events. And it's a 1K, 3K, and 5K event. sadly, we barely got a 1K in. The weather did not cooperate at all with us this last weekend.
Got lightninged
And
out.
yeah, we had storms. Every which way we had storms.
Wow.
And hadn't seen rain in over a month.
Oh.
It was one of
Well,
those,
so
like,
people were praying for rain and they got their prayers.
they got
were
it.
answered
Yeah. Some got
the wrong
answered
day.
prayers. Yeah. But and that's a great event. It happens out at Beaver Lake. And the series of TriFest, all the proceeds go to the Rampy Foundation, which fight multiple sclerosis. And a dear friend of mine is who has started that, and who the foundation is really for is Joe Rampy. And they're an amazing family and put on some really amazing events up here. And their open water swim this year was the 4th annual. So
Okay.
that's another. But other than that, there aren't any other open water swims in Northwest Arkansas.
I got two
Thanks.
questions. One, what was the experienced or expected water temperature? The range of temperature, maybe
For this past weekend or for the Osmile?
for the Osmile.
For the Osmile, it'll be right around 80. Last year it was 79.
That's perfect.
It's perfect. That's exactly right. Now,
Mhm.
what made it absolutely beautiful, the air temperature really dropped that night. We woke up to 40 degrees. And
Oh, that's
so
pretty cool. So you had a fog.
we had some great steam coming off of the lake. We actually had to delay about 5 minutes so we could see all the buoys.
Oh, okay.
But it
Well,
was gorgeous.
what else you got there, Dana?
Well, Bonnie was talking about maybe we could look at our schedules for next year. And, we'd probably love to bring our teams this year, except Bob and I are actually having a practice and an event together on the 24th on Saturday. But this event this year is on Sunday, correct?
Correct. And it's actually a whole weekend of festivities. Friday night, the 23rd, we start with our expo, and that's in Bentonville. We've got some live music, some amazing food being catered. The food is a ticketed purchase, but anyone can come and attend the expo. We'll have a local swim shop there with anything you might need, goggles, suits, all of that kind of fun stuff. We'll have Norby's, Stroke Max, anti-paddles there as well.
All right.
And then some local vendors, some leather guys and some really cool art that is special to Northwest Arkansas.
So
and
your local I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your
No,
local
you're good.
sponsors have jumped on board with you on this.
Yes, exactly. And actually, our title sponsor for the expo is Heartfelt Homes, and they're a local real estate group, and they took the idea and are absolutely running with it. And I'm really excited to see the vendors that they're bringing in, and really just a great evening to meet your fellow swimmers, kind of hang out in a relaxed environment for a little bit. We go to all these events and we get 5 minutes with your competition, and that's it.
And then they're kicking you in the face.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Climbing all over you. And we really want to build the swimming community.
No, it's a lot of fun. I love open water swim. No, don't get me wrong. It is a blast. I do miss it. I haven't done one in a while.
Oh, well, it sounds like it's time. But then on Saturday, we'll do a pre-swim. So we'll be out on site setting everything up Saturday morning, and we've got a pre-swim at 2:00 Saturday afternoon. So folks that are coming big distances, and we've got a bunch. We actually have quite a few from Texas. We're the finale of the South Central Zone open water swim series. And so we've got some folks from San Antonio and Austin and Houston and parts in between that are coming up to see who wins the series finale.
It's great.
Yeah. And then of course the swim on Sunday, and we've got a live band that's going to be out playing. So if you're waiting for your wave to start, you'll be well entertained, and barbecue and beer, and it's going to be a great weekend in the Ozarks.
This is neat.
Hey, you've mentioned, and we've talked briefly about the Midmar Mile over in South Africa. And I noticed on your website that the fastest milers, the fastest male, fastest female, win a trip to Mid-Mar. So 2 questions. When is
I don't know about
Mid-Mar?
a trip, maybe free
No.
entry. Is
No.
it a
No,
trip?
It's a trip.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Holy guacamole. Get out
Yeah.
there and race.
Bob, you going to change your schedule?
No, I think Toro Spencer better get in there and go.
So the question is this something that's being picked up by Walmart?
Yeah. So our title sponsor is Walmart. This is the Walmart Oz Mile, and they have really helped us so much in being able to really elevate this event. And that's something that the Ozark Outdoor Foundation is really behind. They do a lot of events. The Cyclocross World Championships was here in Fayetteville in Northwest Arkansas earlier this year. I believe we've got another one coming up in the fall, and I can't remember the title of that cyclocross. Walmart's been behind that in a big way. But the Ozark Outdoor Foundation is really, their mission is to elevate outdoor recreation and the experience that you have while doing it. So one of their amazing events is a Oz Kids Crit, and it is for locals, and it is as if they were at the Tour de France. And these kids get off their bike, they get a medal, we do awards. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. And so Walmart has really helped us be able to do that. So yes, this is in large part due to Walmart's support. And, I mentioned Jason and Mike earlier, and Jason was able to put me in touch with the not the founder, but the owner and race director for Mid-Mar Mile. And we've had a couple of conversations with them, and we're really excited to have this partnership. They're going to be announcing their side of it, I believe sometime this month. And basically what it looks like is our top male and female times of the day, excluding the Oz wave. So no fins allowed.
That's paddles and fins. And here we go.
But our top finishers will be awarded an entry and $2,000 towards their travel and expenses for the trip. And there's some things that we ask in return. We want shout outs, we want photos, we want video, we want availability for interviews, we want some stuff out of it. But yeah, it's a trip.
That is great. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And I'm really excited that Mid-Mar was so interested in helping us get the word out about open water swims and about the exciting piece of it, and how it can be a part of your life, a part of your memories, all of that kind of stuff. We've got an age group, a local age group team, the Aqua Hogs, and they come out not every Wednesday. They've done 3 or 4. They'll probably do another 2 or 3. And, I look back at my swimming days in junior high school, and the monotony of 5 a.m. splash and 5 p.m. splash. But I remember doing a few things like this.
Something different, right?
It's something different, something to mix up the training, something to be just really, truly memorable and add to that experience of swimming, and hopefully get these kids to fall in love with it again if they're feeling burnt out, and want to be that lifelong swimmer.
Yeah. I think it's great. And I think an advantage you have over us is it's a little tougher for us to just go out in some of these spots and jump in and do that. We might have a gator get us, or
that's not ideal in South Texas.
Don't have that problem up there, do you?
No, thankfully, no gators here or sharks. We will have a land shark on site, but nothing in the water.
That is awesome.
Is there going to be anything for live streaming Is anybody going to be announcing the race? Or are you going to have any video going on? Is that something you've thought about before?
Yes. So we've got an amazing announcer. Bob Brown is coming down that will be announcing our event, and really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a whole lot of fun. And he's a ex-swimmer and triathlete and Ironman himself. And will really be able to help us with that. And, we'll have, of course, body markings and whatnot. So we'll hopefully be able to have some call outs on our swimmers.
Right.
We've got a photography crew that has a drone, and we're going to be trying to figure out how we can, we've done a couple of practice runs, and I think we're about ready, but how to be able to get the drone low enough that we can see their swim numbers on their shoulders and caps, so that we can say, okay, Susie Smith is just behind Julie Jones or what have you.
There you go.
So, yeah. And, the video piece, the live streaming piece, that is something that we have looked into, and hopefully we will be able to pull it off for next year. Budget wise, when I sat down and wrote my budget, that was not in it, unfortunately.
Next time. Right.
Next time. That's right.
Mhm.
It is something that is already in the 23 budget. So,
Right. Well, this sounds like a fantastic event. Now, okay. Now, I'm sure how to close out a podcast. Bonnie and Dana, what do we need to make sure our listeners know about before we go?
well, I'll say follow us on social media, check out our website, ozmileswim.com. And that's our social media tag as well, ozmileswim.
Good.
And we've got all kinds of great stuff on there. We've got everything that's happening on the weekend here during the race. And it is jam-packed of stuff to do. There's a LPGA tournament. There's a food festival called Bite. There's also the Format Festival, which is put on by the guys that do Lollapalooza. And it's music art, it's real art, it's experience art all weekend long. And then, of course, the swim.
You're going to be busy. Are you going to be too busy to get one of those swims in? Yeah. Are you ever able to participate in any of these?
Not very often. I've tried to do 2 open water swims this year, and both have been canceled.
Oh, okay. So better luck next year, right?
Better luck next year for me. I'll stay on the sidelines and keep training my swimmers, though.
There you go.
Well, for all 17 of our podcast followers,
we've gone up by a dozen.
We broke the dozen. We will include links to everything we've talked about in the episode details. If you just look on your Spotify or Anchor.fm, wherever you're listening to us from, just YouTube, we'll have all the links to all the registrations, the information that Bonnie shared with us. And I wish we could be there this year, but you know what? I'm thinking, Bob, maybe next year we get we have our little splash and dash up in Arkansas.
That would be
I love
fun.
it.
That would be great. Yes. Yeah. Why not?
I love it. Well, if things change and your schedule opens up, or you're done on Saturday early, come on up.
Hey, I don't think we're going to make it this time, but next year would be a really good one. That'd be a great trip.
Bonnie, thanks for spending your morning with us. We've really enjoyed this, and I've learned a lot about open water, but I'm also pulling out next year's calendar and penciling in some possibilities.
Pencil it in. It'll be the last weekend of September.
Thank you, Bonnie Adams. This has been wonderful. Appreciate you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Happy swimming.
Thanks, Bonnie. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for joining Bob and me for another encounter with one of the swimming world's greatest contributors and participants. Drop us a line at swimtalk@outlook.com and tell us what you think. We'll see you later on the next episode of Swim Talk.